Oh, this is a Mr. Peaceful Poet. I was hoping that I can get the Vikings theme song. It's pretty awesome, but my system isn't set up just like that yet. So we'll just have to go without the music. But I'm still watching Vikings. It's awfully long. It's Me and my wife are watching it. It's pretty awesome. It's historically accurate, or at least partially. I don't think don't think it's fully, you know, accurate, but it's close. And they did put in a lot of work into it, a lot of research. It's really good. The Vikings, they were an awful people. They were. I mean, I'm not gonna romanticize them and stuff, but they were very powerful. They were very powerful, and this is why they're well known, and even today, people look up to them and respect them because they were very powerful. Now, I used to be a sailor, and I know what it is like to be out at sea. And here's people who cross the sea in these boats with with rows, rows and uh, and sails, with hardly nothing to navigate. And you have to imagine when they got to shore, they had to be tired, they had to be thirsty, they had to be hungry, but yet they managed to fight. They managed to fight, and very successfully. Very successfully. They're very powerful people. So it's pretty amazing. So you got to wonder how it was, what made them so powerful. They did lots of sacrifices. Blood was like a big thing. There was one example where someone had gotten married and they actually dipped the wedding ring into blood and gave it to the woman. That's pretty gross, but blood was a big thing. And anyone who has studied spirituality knows that blood is powerful. All around the world, all around the world, the ancients sacrificed animals and sometimes people, and the blood was collected and it would be used in their sacraments to please the gods or the god or the Great Spirit or whatever it was they believed. But they would put their intention on it, on whatever it is that they were sacrificing for, and that gave that intention power. And this is what made the Vikings very powerful people, was these sacrifices, honestly. So that made me understand why Jesus died on the cross. I mean, in the past, I had said that after Jesus died, the sacrifices ended, except, of course, for the Vikings. But for everybody else in the world, it pretty much ended. They ended their sacrifices, even the Jews, unless you were practicing in secret, and and then they, use sacrifices. And even today, some secret societies will do that. But the point is, after Jesus died, that changed. That changed. And so what happened? Jesus sacrificed himself. That's what happened. He voluntarily sacrificed himself for us. I understand it now. I never understood it before. I never understood why Jesus had to die, but now I understand it. He became the ultimate sacrifice so that we no longer have to sacrifice animals or even people to put our intention on it to give ourselves so that we can have power. Because you got to think, it was hard to survive back then. You know, Today, I mean, we have electric power. It's real easy for us to survive today. But back then, they didn't have all these things that we have today. So they had to depend on things like supernatural, which the Vikings were very powerful. And it's the only explanation for their power. It's the only explanation. A human being can't be that powerful. Trust me, you cannot cross an ocean and be that powerful after you've crossed an ocean. I mean, you're going to be tired. You're going to be, you don't sleep real good. You don't. drink a lot of water and you don't eat a lot. I mean, it's just, it's so it's got to be supernatural. So, anyways, so now that Jesus had became the ultimate sacrifice, often he had explained that only through him can we get to God. Only through him can we get to God. He drilled that in our head over and over and over again. If you read the Gospels, he said that many, many, many times because he was going to be the sacrifice to make that possible. So you can put your intention onto Jesus, and Jesus takes it to God, and it has power. And that's what it's all about. That's what it's all about. Of course, you have to believe, you have to have faith. Now, glorifying the Vikings, I mean, they were a very powerful people. Everybody was afraid of them. But you have to realize where are the Vikings now? They're gone, ain't they? And who's here now? The Western Union, the Western world who believes in Christ. That's who's here. That's who's most powerful. And the Vikings disappeared. They fell, didn't they? And the Romans were very powerful as well, right? And then what happened to them? They became the Roman Catholic Church. So think about that. Now, unfortunately, America, and let's be honest, here in America, atheism has become very powerful, you know. If you're a Christian, you're mocked, you're laughed at, you're thought of as being stupid. Um, but if you're an atheist, well, you're just a genius. You're just as smart as can be. And that's the attitude that has pretty much taken over here in America. And guess what? We're not the most powerful country anymore, are we? And what country is becoming the most powerful country in the world? Russia. And you may not know this, but Russia is a very Christian country now. We keep thinking of the USSR when they threw Christians in prison, but we need to stop thinking that way. Russia is a very Christian nation right now, very much a Christian nation. A lot of their rules that they have in place right now are based on Christianity, based by the created by the church. And I don't necessarily agree with all those rules and stuff, but nevertheless, the power of Jesus, the power of Jesus, it's the power of Jesus. You got to realize that. So that's what it's all about. That's what it's all about. And that has like heightened my faith a great deal. Great deal. What Jesus did was a great thing. And now I understand it. And now you do too, I hope. All right. Well, love and peace. Goodbye.